So the screening for this movie actually we got coupons so we could have drinks, alcoholic drinks. And yeah, I had a couple when I watched this movie, so this review might be bullshit. But this is how I felt about Sausage Party. Sausage Party. So Sausage Party is a very adult, very raunchy, animated comedy about produce. Yeah, you heard that right. Produce. Shit that you get in the supermarket. All the inanimate objects. It's like Brave Little Toaster meets Toy Story with vegetables. It's very rated R. You have a little sausage voiced by Seth Rogen. Actually, he's a hot dog, not a sausage. They're different. You look at him, he is a hot dog. So I'm going to say it's Hot Dog Party. Basically, the belief is when they're bought and purchased and they leave the store, they're going to the happy place. They're going to heaven and human beings are gods and everything is wonderful forever. And they learn it's a horrible lie and these human being gods eat them. It's a horror movie comedy when that shit goes down. It's pretty great. So now this little hot dog has to tell all the other produce items and vegetables and fruits that everything they've believed is a lie. It sounds so absurd when I say it out loud. Just the premise of this entire thing. It is absurd. It's actually quite funny. This movie had a lot going for it, man. I didn't know what I was going to think of it. Ultimately, a lot worked. Starting out in the overall premise where it's just like eating is eating and eating's fine, right? And you think, what does it look like to food when you eat them? You have this hilarious segment where it's just like, he shows this can of spaghetti and he's like, it looks like guts. He's like, ah! He's like crying on the ground. It's just the simplest thing ever, eating. Everyone does it. Everyone can relate to it. It just makes it so horrifying to the poor food. And I like the weird social commentary that this movie had going for it. All right, you remember Zootopia, how one of the funny things about Zootopia is that it had like, oh, relevant social commentary. It's kind of like that, but a little more in your face, a little more naughty. This movie has a lot of racial cliches tied to food and produce. However, it's kind of like Team America, where Team America promised to go after everybody and offend everybody, and they did. This movie does a lot of the same thing. It doesn't single anyone out. It goes after a lot of different folks. So if you're gonna get offended, you can, but just know that anybody who watches this movie can get offended by this movie. I just thought it was pretty well played. It goes into its world building phase about halfway through where all the jokes ultimately stop. It's not there for the sake of being funny, but arcs slow down. You know when C-3PO and R2-D2 are walking through the desert and you're like, oh, this isn't exciting sci-fi stuff anymore. But it's, building the world. It's what this movie does, but for humor. It takes a dip, but I can see why it took a dip. And you've heard a lot of people talk about it. Yes, at the end, this movie finishes off with something that is so over the top, just they're like, we can't do this, so we're going to. Yeah, they go there, and it's pretty funny, and it goes and goes and goes and doesn't stop, and that's what makes it funny. But it actually, for me, gross out over-the-top humor doesn't actually grab me as much as meta humor. There's also this meta humor segment that I found funnier than the over-the-top shit. Guys, in the end, Sausage Party was hilarious. It had all the right players to bring this absurd premise to life. When it goes for horror movie humor, it hits horror movie humor. When it goes for over-the-top humor, it hits over-the-top for sure. This is not for your kids, man. Don't take them to Sausage Party. Unless your kids are old enough to see Sausage Party, in which case, well, sure. In the end, I really dug it. Again, it's like, ironically, it's like if I found the movie funny, but I had a couple of drinks in the screening, does that mean it's a good time if you're drunk? I was buzzed. I don't know. This is reason 151 that the rating really doesn't matter, so I'm going to say Sausage Party is a great time, no alcohol required. Ironically. And for your nerdy pleasure, this review is brought to you by Loot Crate. Go to the link below for promo code JeremyJahns. Save yourself 10% on your Loot Crate subscription. The August Crate theme is anti-hero, so the possibilities are endless there. Be prepared for some Harley Quinn, probably. All right, guys, so Sausage Party, have you seen it? What did you think about it? What's your favorite raunch comedy of all time? Whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.